is going on with the Atlanta Braves? Just checking the scoreboard from last night. Yeah, just checking it right now. Didn't check it last night. I am a little concerned, I got to tell you.
Right off the bat, concerned. Huh? Right. How about I'm John Longshore? How about he's Barry McKnight? Nah. What about a little welcome into Longshore and McKnight? We're glad you're with us. Immediately into the Braves. Well,
I just want people to know how concerned I am.
He didn't check it last night. He checked it this morning. Yeah, that's how concerned he is. Right before. Ooh, what did the Braves do last night? Hey, I'll lead the entire show with this. Yeah, he's real concerned. This is Longshore and McKnight. This is our Wednesday show. And I got no excuses. What's up with the Braves? Well, they have been... It's not really been anybody else. I mean, the Marlins are like 24-8 in their last 32 games. Yeah. The Phillies are playing really well, and they deserve to be, in the conversation or whatever in the National League East. But the Braves are awful. The Braves have, I mean, it's not like, oh man, just a couple of one-run games here and there. And they've been playing terrible. Yeah. Like terrible. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask a stupid question, which, this is the place to ask him. Do any of you guys on our chat line over here, any of you guys at all, I'm looking at you, have you ever heard of Ryan O'Hearn before?
Ryan O'Hearn.
O'Hearn. Not Ryan Sandberg. Ryan O'Hearn. Ryan O'Hearn, he's had a good year. He plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who hosted the Braves last night.
That's true.
Ryan O'Hearn hits 3 homers.
Ooh.
Sets a Pittsburgh record. Bear in mind, Pittsburgh has been in the National League since 1876.
Didn't Tommy Lasorda say something about a guy hitting 3 home runs against them and he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat or something?
This is what John has to add to this real grown-up boy baseball conversation. Wasn't there somebody else who hit 3 home runs once? Yeah. All right. Ryan
the way
O'Hearn.
Tommy Lasorda described it was just classic.
Well, Ryan O'Hearn sets a franchise record with 10 RBIs.
Ooh.
That franchise has been around for 150 years, more than half of the age of our country as a whole.
Yeah, it did.
And they ain't never had anybody else in Pittsburgh Pirates history drive in 10 runs in a single game until Ryan O'Hearn did it last night against the Braves in Pittsburgh's 12-4 victory. Now, normally I'm the voice of reason in here. At least I like to think so.
Yep.
But I'm blowing the horn here. Iceberg ahead.
Yeah. I'm looking at the box score, Barry. Pittsburgh jumped out on them 4-1. Braves put up 1 in the top of the first, but the Pirates came back with 4 in the bottom. Ryan O'Hearn plays first base, by the way. 5 at-bats, 3 runs, 4 hits, 10 RBIs, 3 home runs.
Franchise record. Braves lose 12-4 last night. And you'll have people telling you, I can't believe I'm saying this. You'll have people telling you that the Braves are 52-37.
Yeah.
They are leading the National League East by 2 games. There are 5 games left before the All-Star break, and boy, the Braves cannot wait to get to the All-Star break. People will tell you this.
Hearing that, but the All-Star break can't get here quick enough. But that's coming.
Here's the deal: they have gone 8-17 in the last month.
Say it ain't.
They've won 8 games all month. Well, since June the 6th, June and July. Yeah. They've lost series to the Giants, who are pitiful, to the Mets, who are horrible, to the Padres, who are all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to tell you, just the way they played, people will tell you, hey, don't be acting like the season's over. Atlanta is still on pace to win 96.
96. Yeah.
62 games and slumps happen, but it's just the way they're playing. I'm sounding the alarm bell right now. The Braves are listing badly off to one side.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it was just like, I'm going to start listening to them. I'm done with the Braves. I don't want to get my heart broken.
Ooh.
First time this year, I'm telling you, that is a very real possibility.
Lost 7 of their last 10 in a little slump. Do we have any clips from, I don't know, 2 months ago, Gurn, where I was saying, look, you can be giddy now, but I'm telling you what's coming. Nobody wanted to hear it. I get it. They're still leading the weakest division in baseball. And I'm getting to the point now, Barry, where I'm really on the verge of getting a little upset that our home team, the Tampa Bay Rays, are not getting more love. They're also leading their division and beat the New York Yankees, the wonderful, great pinstripe New York Yankees last night.
Schmankies.
And
I'll tell you what you do, Yankees.
And Tampa's up, got a 4-game lead in a division that's just, scratching and clawing. Of course, Bill from Baltimore's Orioles in dead last in that division. But
now, why that? Why that stray? Why is he catching strays from you?
Well,
Bill from Baltimore sitting right there in Baltimore right now. Got some orange juice, got a little coffee, sitting in. All right, here's Longshore McKnight, and boom, right off the bat, he takes one to the gut.
Well, he did come in on the chat line earlier today. Hey, the Braves are still up by 2 games.
Bill from Baltimore is that kind of guy.
I don't want to hear that.
He is. Now, John knows which buttons to push because he's done this for years, and I've never really called him out on it. Oh, Montgomery is a Rays town. John could not name a single Tampa Bay Ray right now. This minute.
I couldn't name a single Atlanta Brave either.
But yet, here we are, Let's get into a deep dive into what Atlanta's problems really are.
Yeah.
All right.
I can tell you, just
Danny Noonan,
curse of the Braves.
Danny Noonan is really struggling in the Braves pitching staff, and Carl Spackler, man, he has got to start hitting the ball. John be like, yeah, I know, right? Spackler, man, he sucks. John wouldn't know,
I know.
Man, Ty Webb, he can't manage this team to save his life. He needs to get fired.
Are the Upton brothers still playing for the Rays? Was it David Price, the pitcher? Who was that third baseman that came through Montgomery that played for him? There's a few.
That don't count, though. What do you mean there's a few? There's a few what? There's a few Rays? Yeah, they've had a few players. It don't count if you don't know Evan Longoria's name.
Longoria,
guy came through Montgomery.
That's right.
Like just about all of the Rays.
Got him mixed up with that actress.
That's Ava Longoria. No relation.
But just because I don't know who they are, I mean, I know the logo, I know the team. A lot of people say that about fans of particular football games. They don't really know who's on the team. They just like the logo. They like the helmet. They like the jersey. I get it. But let's give the Rays a little love because there were some former Biscuits certainly that on that team and in that organization. So give them a little love. The Braves love is always just baffled me. Well, they're only 150 miles up the road. Well, so are the Atlanta Hawks. I don't see people talking about them.
Oh, because this is a baseball town. This is a baseball. It's. People have grown up with the Braves, which obviously you have not.
Well, I have. Pre-1992, when 3,000 people would show up to Fulton County Stadium, and they're giving hot dogs away. See, our younger audience, really? The Braves were really that bad? Look it up.
Yeah, they were. A generation ago. 40 years ago, the Braves were terrible. And John still lives in there. If John could, if he had the ability, the Braves would still have, I mean, you could name him. Claude Hill Washington in the outfield, Roland Office in the outfield, Bob Horner at third, Glenn Hubbard at second. he could flip on his quadraphonic Blaupunkt in his 86 Trans Am and be listening to Spandau Ballet in Asia. Give me a little journey on there, with his mullet in the back
Asia. Heck yeah.
Wearing his members only jacket. That was, if he could just freeze time right then.
Yeah.
Except
Rafael
Alabama could be winning a few more.
Pascal Perez, great guys. So Bill chimes in again that John talks up the race but can't even name one. Is that kind of like, nobody was at the game. They can't draw flies. Well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people are at the game. It's the game. We want to watch the game. Yeah, okay, but nobody's interested in it. Just because I don't know any players doesn't mean I'm not interested in the team and the history and the roots of how that organization funnels down to little old Montgomery here.
That is the absolute definition of being interested in the team. Just because I don't know anything about them or any of the players or any of that doesn't mean I'm not interested. How else would you define interest?
Yeah, I like their logo. I'm pulling for them. And they are kind of, they're playing in that big boy division, and they're the kind of the little kid, playing in some crappy stadium while the Yankees and the Red Sox, they get all the fanfare and the love. And here they are having to scratch and claw and look at them. They're 4 games up in their division, but nobody's giving them any love. Oh, it's the Braves. I don't want to pile on to you 4 Braves fans out there. 4, you heard that, didn't you? Because I know what's coming. And I'm not going to get all giddy right now before the All-Star break, but I see what's coming. It's trending as I predicted.
It doesn't matter. And here I am. I'm dogging the Braves. And even that's not enough for John. Here's what's not going to happen. John's going to say, I'll tell you what, they're not going to make it. They're going to break your hearts and everything. This is going to happen. So-and-so's going to get injured. John's going to is it the fact that they put on the uniforms that makes them heartbreakers or they're just not good players? And John's like, man, I don't know. All I know is that 40 years ago, the fans wouldn't come out to see him play, which is the absolute ultimate define of quality. Hey, how many people watch it? How many people care? I'm just telling you, without all the frou-frou stuff, the Braves are in big trouble right now. Big trouble. Yesterday was awful. Sure. Even John from Wetumpka in Longshore's favorite, it's a Rays town. John, you don't have a clue about the Rays. I've watched more Rays this year than you. John, that is a hollow statement. If you've watched a pitch of a game this year, if you just flipping through and you see somebody for the Yankees throwing one pitch, ball one low and away to a Rays hitter, you have, by definition, watched more Rays baseball than John has this year.
I'm gonna challenge that because they were on TV last night against the Yankees, and I watched some of it. Now I know the definition of some could be there's a little wiggle room there, probably 2 innings, maybe.
From the time it took his thumb to get, by the time it took his thumb to get from here to here, and depress the button to the next channel. That's how much he watched it.
Now, in between innings, I went back to Fox News, but I did watch about 2 innings because it was the Rays. And I went, wow, the Rays are hot. I want to watch them a little bit. If it would have been like, I don't know, the Giants and the Rangers,
the Blue Jays,
probably would not have watched any of it. But I did watch a couple innings. I don't know if it was on ESPN or NBC. I can't remember what channel it was on last night, but I did watch a little of that Rays Yankees game.
And the Rays won it yesterday.
They sure did. Heck yeah, they're hot. I don't know why everybody's dumping on the Rays. Have the Braves been to Montgomery to play an exhibition game? No. Have the Tampa Bay Rays been here? Yes. I was actually at that game, believe it or not. All right. Got to take our first break here, Barry. Got to, I guess, be on time a little bit today. CJ Duncan of Yellowhammer News going to join us in about 15 minutes. And our man Phil Steele from Phil Steele's College Football 2026 Preview Magazine, 350 pages plus. Man, it is a great. You got to get ready for college football with Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine. He's joined us for 25 plus years. He'll be on with us at the top of hour number 2, which is in about 45 minutes.
If you didn't get enough Braves conversation, for some of you guys like Bob from Pike Road who think we should talk football and nothing but football, there's actually a little bit of World Cup coming up later on too, so get your mind right. He is John Longshore. I am Barry McKnight. This is Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. Okay, back at it here on this Tuesday. Glad you're with us here today. Hey, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm, we're told. And tell all your friends, family, business associates to do the same thing. Make sure to check us out. You know, we're live 7 to 9. That's when we kind of lay it down, as they say. But you can watch and listen anytime you want, because we got it out there. It immediately hits social media at 9 a.m. Central Time every weekday morning after we wrap up. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, Spotify, iTunes, Yellowhammer News, and yellowhammernews.com. You can check it out through their Facebook page as well. So we really appreciate you doing so. We know a lot of people consume our content after we finished up producing it live every weekday morning, and we really appreciate that. Okay, a couple of news and notes that caught my attention this morning, besides the Braves losing last night. I'm going to try to, I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
He led with that. That was even more like, good morning. Hey, how are you doing? It was like, oh, I'm so worried about the Braves, which is a falsehood.
You know, it's kind of hard to come up with like a zinger every day to right when the cameras go on. I mean, instead of, saying who we are, which by now most people should know, coming up with a zinger is kind of tough. I got to admit. It's kind of like the daily dog. It ain't easy. More on that later. See that, I can't wait to ask Rodney about this. Alabama allegedly, and I'm going to get into that as well, picked up a commitment yesterday from a kid in Notasulga, which I thought was a suburb of Auburn.
A suburb? Does Auburn have suburbs? I lived there for a long time.
It's a growing community out here, Barry. Here, Auburn's really growing.
I know he gets on a run sometimes. He gets excited. Kid ain't from Notasulga. Kid's from Lochapoka, John. Right? Yeah.
Well, AL.com, Nick Kelly, you better correct this then, because he says Notasulga in the article. Raekwon Butler.
Raekwon Butler is from according to Crimson Coverage,
yep,
he is from Lochapoka High School, Lochapoka, Alabama, which is right next door. You don't kid around when when you got Notasulga.
Can you live in Notasulga and go to school in Lochapoka?
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both kind of the same. They're 5 miles apart. But
well,
anyway.
Not really concerned about where he goes to school. I'm more concerned, Barry, has Alabama ever gotten a commitment from a kid that has no star rating? Is it getting that bad? I mean,
bad? Come on.
Butler from Notasulga becomes the 4th commitment in the 2028 class. He doesn't yet have a star rating assigned by 247 Sports or Rivals. Huh.
John.
Wow.
Don't you remember? Yeah, Nick Kelly's wrong. I'm looking at his Raekwon Butler's Twitter page. Yeah. And it says Lochapoka, Alabama. Come on, Nick.
Gotta get that right.
Let me tell you a story about one of Jeff from Billingsley's favorite players, the man who he forever famously called on this program, Demico Ryans.
Yeah.
Demico Ryans is now the head coach of the Houston Texans and a Crimson Tide great, even though I don't think he ever won a national championship. Check me on that. He was a no-star. And look what happened to him. Do you want to get caught? Maybe he was a 2-star.
Okay.
Raekwon Butler is a linebacker, 6'3", 205 pounds.
Seems a little skinny.
To get from Notasulga, if you get on Highway 14 in Lochapoka, right about there where the syrup sopping grounds are, where they have the annual syrup sopping in the summer.
Yeah.
Been there many times. Probably will take you 6 minutes to get to the city limits of Auburn over by the train tracks.
Yeah, it sounds like a suburb to me.
Suburb. It's nearby. I wouldn't call it like a bedroom community to Auburn or anything like that. But
excuse me.
Maybe he's a guy. He's number one, he's 2028. He's not in this year's or this upcoming. Then he's not in this next class. He's in the class after that. So he's about to be, this is his junior year coming up. And then he'll be a senior. So he's a project. They're projecting up. Maybe he went to camp and they thought, my gosh, we got to get this Raekwon Butler kid before he starts blowing up. Look at me defending Alabama's recruiting. I'm just glad that they got a kid from the state of Alabama.
Then that's the next thing. Did Auburn not want this guy? I mean, he's lives right down the road.
I'm not sure anybody wanted this guy.
Well, allegedly, Nick Kelly says Troy wanted him. So Alabama beat Troy out for this young man. Also, Ole Miss and Tennessee.
Really?
But the guy lives right down the road.
All right.
Auburn's picked up some in-state guys. They didn't want this one? Huh. Well, kind of makes you wonder. You want to know something else I've been wondering about, Barry?
Yeah. Raekwon Butler.
Yeah. And will he stick? For an athletic program whose football team has been woeful the last 5 seasons, they set a record-breaking number in terms of dollars raised in a fundraising for fiscal year 2026 at $93.1 million. The largest total in department history. We're talking about Auburn University.
Oh, okay. Auburn. Okay.
An increase of $5.5 million from the previous year. There again, the athletic program has been through some tough times. We know about the equestrian team getting beat by South Carolina or Georgia, one of those teams. Yeah.
Gosh, you got to sell it better than that, John. You got to say, this is hard-hitting news. Remember, fans, the equestrian team suffered
the baseball team got knocked out of a super regional that they hosted.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball didn't live up to expectations. Football's been struggling for years and years and years, but they raised $93.1 million, sold out 22 consecutive football games. Does that seem like a lot? Usually when you brag about that, you sold out like 100. But that's what they say. 22 consecutive sold out games. I'd like to know that game that was 23 that wasn't sold out. 63,500 season tickets have been sold. Place holds 87,000. So a lot of single game tickets are going to be available. Be on the lookout for that. But my point being, for a program that has struggled, and we talked about this with Brian yesterday, the fan base is extremely loyal. I've said that forever.
Yeah, they are.
They're extremely loyal. Kind of makes me wonder, do they not have anything else to do? Is this all they do? But I don't know. Who knows? I don't hang around a lot of Auburn people, but maybe this is their thing.
When is Alabama? They raise all this money, but what else do they got to do besides,
I kind of wonder, what else do they do?
Is there another athletic department in the country that sells a lot of tickets that John will say, well, they got anything else to do over there, If that's what John's got, if that's what John can come up with negatively to needle the Aubs, is that
I'm just wondering.
We got nothing else to do down there. Might as well go to a football game.
I mean, I don't want it to come across as negative. It's very positive that they're
wait a minute.
Loyal, love their
63,000 season tickets sold. That means there's like 24,000 they haven't sold, huh?
Well, true. That is true.
The equestrian,
and it is true.
Baseball team loses in the Super Regional that they hosted. He don't want to come across as negative. Yeah. No, nothing could be further from his
they'll
mind.
Eat their own. We know that. I mean, if things go south, they'll kick you out of the family real quick.
This is what we want. None of this. I don't want to come across as negative. No.
Well, I don't.
No.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. But I'd like to know how much money Alabama's raised in the last year. I know we don't compare on this program, but for people out there that say Bama's broke, they ain't got any money. This, to me, Barry, is kind of a subtle little shot for Auburn to kind of release this information and what do you have? Because there's rumblings around there that say, we don't have any money. So now's the time for Alabama to prove that they do. Huh?
So am I right in saying that Auburn is kind of needling Alabama, kind of, throwing it in their court by saying how much they raised this year? This is an obvious shot at Alabama. Is that what I'm getting? Oh, look at the Aubs. They're thinking about Alabama when they talk about how much money they raise. That's very smart from John Cohen. Let me gig Alabama here by telling us how much our fans have given us. Yeah, that'll get them.
There's a very well-produced little placard banner that they put all over social media with the logo and the Tigers Unlimited logo. A record-breaking $93.1 million raised in fiscal year 2026. Woo, that's great.
Oh, that's so anti-Alabama. That just screams at me, John.
So
that
it's like,
screams.
This is what we've done. What have you done? And there again,
very
I
smart,
get it.
John
It's
Cohen.
very well-timed, really good marketing. Is there some rumblings that they just don't have any money and can't get any in-state players to commit? They're like, 46th in the recruiting ranking. So let's just go ahead and pile on while we can.
Oh, yeah. I see you working, Auburn. An obvious slam at Alabama by mentioning how much money you raised out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the timing is perfect because it totally counters all the momentum that Alabama has for getting a commitment from Raekwon Butler out of Lochapoka, Alabama. See,
it all works together.
Yeah.
If somebody was smart, they'd come out on social media and come up with a banner like that Auburn one and put $90 million DeBoer's buyout.
And this is a guy who built his career around saying, these two programs don't need to compare. Auburn, stop looking at Alabama. Even when Auburn announces how much money they've raised athletically.
Yeah.
John says, I get it. They're getting it. That's a little subtle jab at Alabama.
The slipping starts and it starts getting bigger and bigger and faster. I'm just kind of wondering. I'm wondering out loud. I'm not comparing. I'm just wondering out loud about it. Here's a program that has spent Lord knows how much money getting coaches out of there. Don't just leave. We'll pay you. I know somebody gave us an amount. I don't know how many into the millions they've paid Malzahn and Harsin and Freeze and whomever else, paid a ton of money to get rid of these people.
Yes.
Paid a ton of money to hire the new replacements. And they still come up with $93 million?
Auburn people love Auburn now.
Is it a bottomless pit over there? If Alabama had to pay former coaches like Auburn's paid, you think they could raise $93 million?
Well, according to Bob from Pike Road, if they got rid of Kalen DeBoer, which he wants to have happen, that's going to cost them 70-something million.
Sure.
Yeah. Good news from Bill from Baltimore before we take a break. Bill from Baltimore doing some words. Hey, I just checked. Rivals moved Alabama recruiting up to 50, right above the dreaded load more. You can actually look on Rivals and see where Alabama sits in the recruiting rankings and not have to hit the load more button. Baby steps.
So, I thought they were 46th. So this guy's moved them down 4 spots?
Well, it depends on which service you watch or listen to or subscribe to or whatever. So there you go.
Yeah.
When we come back, C.J. Duncan, Yellowhammer News, he'll join us. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times await. Get some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you are with us here. 27 minutes at the top of the hour. And as we do on Wednesdays, our friend C.J. Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joining us here today. C.J., hope you had a great 4th of July. Saw a beautiful picture of you and your daughter on social media. How's it going today?
Good morning. How are y'all doing? We had a great 4th. We spent time with family, exactly how it should be spent.
I like it. I like it a lot. We're getting to that point of the season or of the year for us where the Big 12 is having their media days. You get a chance to see Dion. You get a chance to see the commissioner, Brett Yormark. They have signed. The Big 12 has signed a deal. I'm looking it up right here with Monster Energy for something like $40 million. I've drank a Monster before. It was on a bet with one of the players and everything like that, and I didn't sleep for a day and a half afterwards. They're going to have, for each one of the schools, they're going to have, it's going to be called the Monster Energy Big 12. They're going to have a Monster logo on every field. They're going to have a Monster logo patch on every jersey. I don't care if it's gymnastics or football or baseball or whatever. every school in the Big 12 is going to have one. Are you surprised by that? By the insidious nature, here comes corporate sponsorships into every little thing, conference wide.
You know what? I'm sure that was a pretty sizable donation from Monster, but it's kind of like what we do in other sports. You watch these tennis players or there's these golfers or whatever it may be. You start to see more patches on their uniforms than you do. It's more about the patches than it is the person itself, and so I'm not surprised that this is coming, just because people are looking for ways to compete, and money is kind of the name of the game now. And if you don't have the donor base that some of these other programs have, then you've got to get creative. We talked about a few months back how in the SEC we're holding concerts now, big country singers, just to create some revenue. So I'm not surprised that they went in this direction. The Big 12 has not really been relevant as far as national games are concerned in a long time, and so maybe this is their way of trying to reel that back in and get some relevancy. I mean, after Texas and Oklahoma leave and Missouri years before that, you kind of lose your dominant teams, and so this is their way of trying to recruit their way back in.
Well, when you say they don't have any relevancy and all that kind of stuff, I agree, to try to gain some relevancy, I suppose. The SEC is pretty relevant. Is it going to be sooner rather than later that you'll see that from the Southeastern Conference, do you think?
Yeah, I don't see it taking very long. And you all can fact check me on this, but I believe Ole Miss has some type of agreement with, I don't know if it's Mossy Oak or if it's one of the other kind of hunting brands, and one of their very creative uniforms with the helmet with the camo, it has something related to that agreement with the hunting brand. And so, yes, that's specific to Ole Miss, but I would imagine others are going to get into that wave of thinking, right? If we've got a donor who's willing to give a certain amount of money, maybe we change our uniform slightly or add a little logo on the field or on the or on our uniforms.
Yeah,
I mean, Auburn's got Yellowwood, on the field. Maybe that has something to do with that as well.
That's a good point.
And we've talked a lot about this a lot. It'll be interesting, CJ. In 2 weeks, we'll be down in Tampa for SEC Media Days, possibly an announcement about some type of marketing agreement with somebody could be announced at that function. Usually that's when they make big announcements like that. But I'm a little surprised the SEC, and there again, we might see it in a couple of weeks, has not already done something, because it's there again, all about money. That's all we hear about is money. I would love to see how far they're willing to go. Do you want to have, like Monster Energy, a company sponsoring your entire league? Every team has that logo on their jersey. We talk a lot about this. Can't mess with the jerseys. You want a Monster Energy logo on the Auburn or Alabama jersey? Could happen. Or what if some other big company comes in and says, we want you to wear this uniform once a year, Auburn or Alabama? You think they're going to turn it down? I certainly don't.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's tough. As a player, or maybe I'll say just even as a fan, I don't want anyone outside of our program kind of dictating what we do and don't do, which once you accept the money, you kind of are put in that tough position. Maybe, since we're using Monster Inc. as an example, maybe we say, okay, maybe we just use Monster Inc. cups at the game. Those are the cups that you get your Coke in, your Sprite in, whatever you get, you still have a Monster logo on the cup, or all the koozies in the stadium have Monster on them. Right. But man, affecting the players and what they look like, and almost forcing them to support Monster Inc. Not that I have an issue with Monster Inc., but some people may not drink energy drinks or agree with the sugar or the things that are inside of that said drink. It may be a great drink. I don't know. I don't drink it, but forcing that sign off by every single player, every single team, every single school, just because the conference made a decision, I think that's a slippery slope. I think it could go the other way too, and a lot of people will be upset about that.
We get ready for SEC Media Days, and not sure, everybody who's going to, well, the schedule of everybody who's going to be there or anything like that. But we are starting to identify, who the difference makers are going to be in the league this year, who the newcomers are going to be this year. That could make a difference for either teams. Are you like what I consider the vast majority of the media and the fans out there, that this league is going to come down to Texas and Georgia? Or will there be an outlier that you identify that you kind of think is, might be a mover and shaker from out of nowhere?
Yeah, you know what? I think we do this every year where we have a top two teams, whether it's in the country and the conference, and all these pundits, and I get on and watch some of these podcasts, and they kind of crowned a team already prior to the ball being rolled out. And I'm one of those guys, just as a former player, I just rather see it play out. It usually isn't the team that you thought it was going to be in the end, except for Alabama all those years. So Texas and Georgia, that sounds great. But I really don't want to count out LSU. I do think that they were they were not as bad as we thought they were. They were not as good as we thought they were. If you add somebody like a Lane Kiffin and a Sam Levitt to that situation where you have a great fan base, incredible athletes, kind of plug and play system, you got an opportunity to be really, really good. And I think some other teams can be sneaky. We forget A&M. They only lost one game last year, and they got their quarterback back. And their head coach is an excellent coordinator. He's an excellent offensive mind and can continue to help the quarterback progress. I just think there's other teams that could really, if you got to go play them week 7 of the season at night in a hostile environment, I think that could be very tough on Texas or Georgia.
You mentioned Texas, Georgia, LSU, Texas A&M. Alabama plays all 4 of those teams. I've been saying for months now, convince me that Alabama can win more than 8 games in the regular season. I heard a lot of guys over the holiday period, national football guys, think Alabama's got a chance to win 10, even 11 games. I don't see it. Where does it fall for you, CJ? Can you see Alabama winning more than 8 games this fall?
You know what? That's really tough because, I actually left a team out that I actually think higher of it. It would be considered a hot take probably, but I really do believe that there's something brewing over there in that system. But that's Mateer in Oklahoma. I just don't think we can count them out. They're always going to be very solid defensively, very strong up front. And you had a guy who's coming back healthy. If we remember prior to him, breaking his hand, he said it was like throwing a baseball with 2 fingers or 3 fingers or something like that, how severe his hand injury was. He comes back healthy with a veteran receiver. Things could look really good for them. So with saying that, it's going to be very tough for Alabama. I really do think so. The SEC is probably as deep as it's ever been. At this point, I think top to bottom, it's not very top heavy. I think there's several teams that got a shot to win, 8 to 10 games. So it's going to be tough. Quarterbacks that don't have as much experience, a lot of turnover, a lot of guys have left in the portal, a lot of guys have come in from the portal. That takes time to coexist and to get that chemistry going.
Who would you imagine if you had to make a decision right now, who would you imagine would have the upper hand, if anybody, going into fall camp at quarterback at Alabama?
His name's Austin Mack, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah.
The
You know
return.
what? I would say him, Mack. just for the simple fact that he's been in the system for so long. He's an older guy. He's a taller guy, sees the field well, I'm sure. Big arm. I think if anything, a guy like that, you've got to kind of contain his mind, not to always think big play, understand check downs, understand touch throws. Instead of throwing a line drive at one, let's go to a two to a three, where you've got some spin behind it, but a little touch as well. And then when we have our chances, we'll take our shots. I'd imagine that's probably where they're trying to really shape him into being a really good quarterback, because it seems like he has all the skill set in the world.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure we'll hear who the starter is maybe 24 hours before that first game, because with Keelan Russell and Austin Mack, I think it's going to be quite the battle. And you got to think in this day and age, CJ, the one that is not playing is going to be looking elsewhere and as soon as he can to go somewhere where he can start.
I agree. I'd imagine, unless if the only way that does not happen is if Russell isn't the starter, maybe he stays, just because it's Mac. He's been in college football for quite some time now. I don't know if this is going to be his last year or what, but
I lose
think
track
Russell.
myself.
I think Russell has time on his side, right? Like, even if he sat out this year, he still have 2 full years at Alabama if he'd like. And he came in as a top quarterback out of high school, so his draft stock will be fine as well. But to your point, most of these kids get out of there. They don't want to wait. They don't have the patience for it. But I think I remember in the bowl game, Mac being able to run a little bit. He's kind of versatile in that way, and that may help him win the job, in my opinion. Because they may be similar throwing the ball, but that guy that can kind of be an escape artist at times when things break down, especially with an offensive line that wasn't great last year, you kind of need a guy that'll be a little bit more mobile.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, I thought he looked good running as well, running for his life.
That's right.
The offensive line was certainly not giving him any protection, even down by 35. And that Indiana defense was still coming strong. So, yeah, I picked up on that too.
I remember, I guess it was 16 years ago, CJ, when Auburn got a transfer quarterback in. And nobody really knew much about him. They had a difficult year the year before, and they win the SEC, they win the national championship. I'm not saying that's happening with Byron Brown coming in at Auburn in the first year with Alex Golesh. A bowl game would be good, but I'm talking to Auburn fans, and I'll admit it right here. The first thing they want to know about is, how long is it going to take Alex Golesh to beat Alabama? That ain't happening this year, is it?
Yeah.
Could it? Maybe.
You know what? Why not this year, though? We're talking about Alabama winning 8 or less games here, right? And we're talking about a new quarterback. And like they always say, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterback, right? And so they're still trying to decide who the guy is. You're going a full summer without knowing who your leader is. And so why not this year? It may be tough this year because it's in Tuscaloosa, but maybe next time it's in Auburn, maybe there's a really good opportunity for Auburn to win that game. I really do like what Golesh is doing in Auburn. I like what I'm hearing in the media. I like his attitude about everything. Very militant, business-like. And he means what he says. I truly believe that. And those guys are probably having one of the worst summers they've had in several years. But it's going to be good for them.
I mean, I think Auburn's got a better chance of beating Alabama than they do Georgia at this moment. I'm surprised Georgia's so under the radar, CJ. Nobody's talking about the dogs. They're all talking about Oklahoma, Texas, Kiffin at LSU. Kirby's over there going, whoa, how about us?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you all were right to say Texas, Georgia are kind of leading the clubhouse earlier. I do believe that. You can't underestimate Georgia. I mean, they're bringing back a very veteran team. And they're accomplished. They've won in the big games. You know what? they've got something to play for too. They didn't win it all last year, and they also lost to Alabama at home last year. These are things that that's getting yelled at them while they're lifting weights or while they're running stadiums. Last year was not good enough, but they've got a team that's always going to be very talented, always well coached, and now they've got a little motivation as well. But that quarterback position is solidified. And I think that's always the most important part of your offseason.
Final question, and it's a random question. Somebody texted me about it. When you were a couple of years into the Vanderbilt program, what's the heaviest? And of course, everybody knows he's a wide receiver. What's the heaviest you played at?
Heaviest I played at was on a game day, heaviest is 205. But I was one spring, I played in a spring probably at like 212, 210, 212. And that was after Achilles surgery. So all I was doing was lifting weights. So I was pretty ripped at the time. But then I realized after spring that I wanted to be a little lighter and be a little quicker. So lost that weight, started running more, doing all that kind of stuff. But on a game day, the highest was probably about 205.
That's what they were getting at, because he and I had been in a conversation earlier. This wasn't about the tech, about guys like AJ Brown or like Julio or some of the big receivers out there nowadays that are just freaks of nature out there. You were known for physicality, going over the middle and all that type of thing. Which would you rather have? Would you rather have size and strength as an inside receiver, or agility and speed? I guess was what his point was.
Yeah, no, size and strength, in my opinion. I think that your size. I'm one of those people that just think that regardless of your size, unless you're out of shape, if you're fast, you're gonna be fast. That's one thing that people get fooled by. AJ Brown is not slow. I've seen it in person. That dude, I haven't seen him get caught from behind yet. Trust me. He's a big guy, a big fella, but he can still run with the best of them. So no, but I'd rather have size and strength. I think it benefits you more in the long run, even from a health perspective. I just think taking those licks, it's better to have a little cushion on you. And when you're playing in close proximity, you got to be able to shake guys off one way or the other. If you're a lighter guy, it's not going to take much to get you down. You probably want to be out in more space, so they may shoot you out to the outside. But yeah, definitely would rather have the size and strength. And at 205, I was a big slot. During my time, there was a lot of guys under 190 pounds. So
what was your optimum playing weight? Was it 205?
Yes. Yeah. 205 is where I wanted to be. I felt my strongest, fastest at 205. Of course, like I said, I had an injury my sophomore year going into junior year. So I wasn't my best speed, full speed, that junior season, but by senior year, I was back to being myself. And that was at about 205. I probably played freshman year at 195 pounds, 98 pounds. And I was just getting tossed around like a rag doll. So
enough of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was I'm not doing that anymore.
Always good stuff. CJ,
hurt.
We appreciate you very much. Thanks for the time and insight. Look forward to next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good week.
You too, buddy. Always entertaining with CJ Duncan. A lot of great analysis. Former Vanderbilt player joining us here each and every week in association with Yellow Hammer News. All right, what do we say we go ahead and take a break a little early so we'll be ready for our next guest. He is Phil Steele. Phil Steele's College Football Preview magazine is out. It is the absolute best. It gets larger and larger every year. I don't know how Phil comes up with more pages to put in the magazine, but he certainly does. And if you don't have a Phil Steele College Football Preview magazine, you might as well just not watch the games this fall because you got to be ready, and Phil gets you there.
All the cool kids have one, that's for
right.
sure. Plus,
That's right.
I also, in my work, I access the website, which you can subscribe to as well at philsteele.com. We'll talk about it more in a moment with Phil Steele live on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
Man, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You got a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. If you encounter one wolf, chances are there's a pack nearby. Fortunately, the same applies to beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks, like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. A couple of minutes at the top of the hour. Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, going to join us here in a few moments. Barry, you mentioned with CJ about the Monster Energy association with the Big 12. I was looking into that as well. I certainly believe that's coming. I have no reason to believe the SEC would not be interested in some type of partnership with a big company, organization, whatever it may be, to produce more revenue for their schools. It wouldn't surprise me if we hear about that in a couple of weeks in Tampa.
Here's what the issues are, though, John, and I don't disagree with you, but these are things to look out for. They are going to insist, and the deal with Monster is $20 million. Each school will get roughly $1 million, Doesn't seem like enough, to be honest, to have a Monster patch on every jersey, to have a Monster logo on every field. $1 million is chump change. The other thing is
$1 million a team or $20 million a team?
It's $20 million total. The contract is $20 million. Yeah. Each school, rather, not team. Each school is going to get $1 million. Doesn't seem like a lot. Well, maybe it is for a patch or something. But also, they want you to. They want all of their media partners. They want all the media people, the sports writers. It's no longer the Big 12 conference. It is the Monster. It is Monster Big 12 football or Monster Big 12 basketball.
Yep.
Well, all of our viewers know Longshore ain't going to call it the Monster Big 12.
No.
Now, if they were to pay John $1 million,
that's a different story.
But what am I getting out of it? It's the Big 12. I ain't calling it the Monster Big 12. I don't know. Josh Pate ain't calling it the Monster Big 12. Chuck Oliver ain't calling it, any of those. We ain't calling it the Monster Big 12. I'm not doing it. That's the same thing with some of the football stadiums. I ain't calling it Invesco Field at Mile High Stadium in Denver. I'm calling it Mile High Stadium, that kind of a thing. Number two, I know this at Troy. Troy is their media rights, the people for whom I broadcast, who market our radio broadcasts, who market our stadium signage at Troy, is Playfly Sports.
Okay.
Playfly Sports is like Learfield. It's like JMI. Those are the ones. Auburn is a Playfly school. Alabama is a Learfield school. Those are items. Those are properties that Playfly has. Those are Playfly. If Playfly is saying, man, why is the Big 12 taking it? We had an energy drink that was almost on the hook for money for our school. Now we can't sell that because because our conference is selling that. Well, the commissioner of the Big 12 is saying, well, we consider that to be one of our marketable products as well. So there's going to be some pushback about that as well. And, if you're a student athlete and you're making $300,000 in NIL, and one of the deals that you had in place that was cleared by your school is to go to this place and say, here I am, I'm drinking Red Bull here this afternoon. Come on with me. Well, you can't do that because they're not the official energy drink of the Big 12 conference.
Yeah,
and all that. So there's a lot of that too to watch out for.
I guess during a Big 12 broadcast, you won't see Red Bull commercials during a Big 12 game.
No.
Red Bull spends a lot of money in the sports world. A lot of, motorcycles and people jumping out of spaceships and having the longest parachute jump they can possibly have and all that kind of stuff. I could see them getting involved with somebody as well, but I think it's coming. I think it'd be foolish not to think it wasn't coming, because we all hear about it. They're starved for money. They got to find a way to bring more revenue in. To me, this is the best way to do it. So, yeah, patches on jerseys. I mean, look, we've had bowl game patches on jerseys forever.
That is true.
Nobody seems to, maybe they don't like it, but they're there.
Yeah.
So what's to say you see it on NBA jerseys, you see it on NFL jerseys in the preseason, they're doing it. I just wonder how long it's going to take. We've seen the logo, we've seen the advertising on the field. I know there's a lot. Don't mess with the uniforms. It's coming. I'm surprised it's not already here. And quite honestly, to me, I don't care. I mean, I don't want some cheesy sponsor on there, but
yeah,
I don't think you can be too selective. It can't be anything graphic or offensive or anything like that. But, if you have the Cheez-It logo on your uniform, or you got a Yahoo chocolate drink logo on your uniform, or, something like that.
You can be creative too. Like I always thought, back in the day, if it was possible, why not have Terry Bowden wearing a special Auburn shirt with an AU logo on one side and an Ora Ida tater tots on the other side? Why not have Tommy Tuberville with an Auburn logo on one side and a hardware store that sells wing nuts on the other? You know? Why not have Gene Chizik with an Auburn logo and a Cheez-It logo? Play to your strengths, play to your stuff. So
So I think it's coming. I still don't really understand or know much about the logo that's on the field at Bryant-Denny.
That hasn't done its job then.
I just don't remember it. It's kind of nondescript. I want to say it has something, maybe there's a military affiliation with it of some sort, but it's kind of just, white paint with not real creative script on it. And,
right.
where you got, I know what Yellowwood is. I know what some of these other logos are that I see on the field of play, but I just don't. I don't know. If you're going to do it, you got to do it where people recognize it, are aware of it. I mean, I wonder how many Alabama people do know what logo's on the field. What are they sponsoring there?
I don't know, and we talked about it when it first came out. We look down there on our screen. Phil Steele is in the green room.
He is in the green room,
so to speak, and he joins us. Phil Steele Magazine. It's a busy man these days. Good morning, Phil. Let's see if we can get him.
Yep, he is in the green room.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, Phil, how you doing this morning?
There you are.
Hey, I'm doing great. How about you guys this morning?
We're doing really well. We're not as busy as you are. Phil Steele Magazine is out. Am I correct?
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's at all the Barnes & Noble and Books A Millions across the country. 376 pages this year. There's 138 teams. We give you 2 full pages on each one. Same amount of coverage on South Alabama as we do on Texas and Georgia. And it's a 7-month process putting that thing together.
You know, Phil, Barry and I were talking about this, knowing you were going to come on with us today. How many years has Phil still been on with John and Barry to preview the college football season? We're going with about 25. Does that sound about right to you?
I would have had it closer to 32.
I think
magazine's been out for 32 years. It seems like I've been doing the show every year that the magazine's been out there. How long have you guys been doing the show?
About 30 years.
About 30 years. That's about right.
And I greatly appreciate, back when we put the magazine out, there was like 30 magazines on the newsstands, right?
Yep.
And we were just in black and white newsprint, and it was just trying to get the name out there. You guys had me on the show early on. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll be doing the show with you the next 32 years.
Yes, count on it.
I like it. And it's also, for me, morphed into several other things. I've always had the magazine. I've always, in my work as the voice of Troy University and everything. But I get a great deal out of all of the timely information you put on the website at philsteele.com. That's always great stuff as well, and on social media as well, Phil. There's some great content.
Yeah, and it's all I work on. I mean, if you ask me about NBA, I could tell you LeBron James. That's about the only player I can name, and that's because he's from Cleveland. Ask me about baseball. I couldn't tell you who the star players are or anything like that. Don't follow baseball. I don't even follow the NFL anymore. I just follow college football 365 days of the year, and really putting a magazine together is a 7-month job. And then once football season hits, you talked about how busy I am. This is like my lifetime a year. I'm doing maybe 6 to 8 radio shows a day, and maybe working 60 hours. It's almost like I'm on vacation right now.
We
love it.
And we love the work. I mean, all of these years, sure, that's one thing. You've been at it for a long time, but the amount of work is just absolutely mind-boggling. You talk to every coach. You've talked with Kalen DeBoer, literally talked with Alex Golesh, talked with Jared Parker down in Troy, and all those coaches they're spending an hour or two going over every aspect of their program, right? To you specifically.
Yeah, and it's actually my favorite part of the job. I got to be honest with you, getting that amount of time from the coaches. I send them my sheets. It's got every player on, all my notes on every single player, and we go over the players, the units, and then. I talked this year. I talked to 133 of the 138 coaches. We can't squeeze them all in at the end of that last week. The one will say, "Hey, I can do Wednesday at 2." Well, I got to coach Wednesday at 2. How about Wednesday at 4? And they're like, "Well, I can't do 4." And so a couple of them we couldn't reach that way. Although I did not talk to Bill Belichick. Haven't talked to him yet.
Love it. Okay,
let's get to it.
Let's jump right in on this one, Phil. Looking at Phil Steele's College Football 2026 Preview Magazine, the front cover, your national cover, I do not see an Alabama player on that cover, and I can't remember the last time that was the case. Is that a bad sign for Crimson Tide fans?
Well, it's a sign of the times, but I tell you this, I've got Alabama, my number one surprise team in the country this year. And it's the first time I was able to put them in that category. To qualify as a surprise team, you have to be a non-top 10 team at the start of the year. And Alabama's not going to be in the top 10 at the start of the year. How about that? It'll be the first time in a long, long time for that. But I think Alabama's flying under the radar. When I went over the team with Coach DeBoer, I think they're in good shape at quarterback. Whichever quarterback wins the job, Keelan Russell or Austin Mack, they've got two really good choices there. And I don't see a drop-off if something happens to the other. I remember last year they had a first-year starting quarterback, and Ty Simpson put up some pretty good stats. I do expect an improved run game. Daniel Hill, E.J. Kroll, Kevin Riley, these are all guys that can run the ball. I think Ryan Coleman-Williams gets back to 2024's form at receiver. And remember, this is a team that was the number one seed for the SEC championship game. Now, that game didn't go well. Neither did the game against Indiana, but they did win a playoff game on the road. They've got a really good secondary. In fact, three guys that Coach DeBoer feels are all-American NFL types in Xavier Brown, Bray Hubbard, and Keon Saab. So overall, this is a team that's under the radar. When I look at their schedule this year, I've got 3 toss-up games. Home against Georgia. Remember, they beat Georgia on the road last year. Yep. At Tennessee, a team they've handled in recent years, and probably, it's very close. They could win that one. And then at LSU, I don't think LSU's I think LSU is going to be a preseason top 10 team. I think at the end of the year, Alabama will be the top 10 team, and LSU will not. So I think Alabama's got a really good chance of getting back to the playoff this year.
Okay. I got to come clean with you, Phil. I've spent the last 3 months saying, convince me Alabama can win more than 8 games. You're doing a pretty good job there, Phil, because I'm worried about a quarterback that hadn't had a start, a running game that hadn't had a 1,000-yard rusher. The offensive line was suspect last year. Who's the alpha dog on defense? That's kind of been my thing, but just hearing you, I'm feeling better. So, all right, everybody out there that's been picking on me, Phil's kind of making me see it a different way.
That's some numbers.
Hey, the over-under is 8.5 on Alabama, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Play the over, gentlemen.
I hear you. Phil, what about Auburn? Will Alex Golesh make a big splash in his first year?
I think Auburn hasn't been to a bowl game or hasn't had a winning record since 2020. Boy. But, going back to the first time I talked to Alex Golesh as a head coach at South Florida, I was really impressed with his plan. He took over a team that was miserable at South Florida and all of a sudden got him to 3 straight winning records. And he brings a lot of talent with him. Byron Brown's a guy that threw for 3,000 yards, ran for 1,000, one of the few players in NCAA history to do that. They've got one of the best running back cores out there with Jeremiah Cobb back. They add in the bowling ball, Bryson Washington. They've got Davenport at running back, Meadows. Davenport was the guy who comes over from USF. Meadows, you guys are familiar with from Troy.
Right.
That's a deep running back core. And then you look at the receivers. They lose some quality guys from last year, no doubt. Coleman, Singleton, Simmons, all gone. But they bring over South Florida's receiving core. So I think they're down a little bit receiver. If I have a question mark with Auburn, it's an offensive line and defensive line. Those are not good areas to be question marks, but they've got the skilled players. They've got the back 7. And then when you look at the schedule this year, I've got them favored in 7 games. I've got a toss-up with the Mississippi State game, and I've got them an underdog in 4. So I think Golesh steps in, new attitude. And keep in mind, this is an Auburn team. If you watch them on the field the last couple of years, they're a team that could beat almost anybody they were on the field with, any game. Of course, they could also lose any game to anybody they played. So it's been that type of team. I think Golesh steps in and gets them to a bowl game his first year, and they'll be a solid team.
Let me ask you about another school locally here, the one I'm associated with. Jared Parker, in his 3rd year at Troy, they had a bounce-back year last year, made a bowl game, made it to the conference championship game for the 3rd time in 4 years. Is that still going to be an upward trajectory for Troy this year, Phil?
Yeah, I had Troy on my most improved list last year, so they did not disappoint me. I have a very high percentage. My most improved list is teams that had a losing record the previous year go to a winning record the next year. And I thought Coach Parker did a phenomenal job last season getting this team. And it did, you watch that Sun Belt championship game, you're expecting James Madison to blow them out. And here it is in the 4th quarter. You got yourself a ball game. Troy could easily have won that. And that was – remember, they had quarterback injuries last year. Bruce Crowder got injured. They went to Tucker Kilcrease in there. Now, they did lose a lot, but all the group of 5 teams generally lose a lot. In fact, when I'm going over the teams with the coaches, they'll say to me, well, Phil, this guy's really, really good, but he's so good he's not going to be here next year, meaning somebody's going to step on and buy this guy off your roster, and that's the problem with the group of five. So I think Troy will have a good year this year, get back to a bowl game. They've got two quarterbacks now that have experience starting with Crowder and Gilcrease, and I think Louisiana's my pick to win the West this year, but I think Troy is right up there.
Obviously, John Summerall was a former Troy coach. Barry and I certainly followed his career. He's been very successful. How is he going to do in Gainesville?
Tough schedule, but of course, Coach Napier had to deal with the same thing at Florida, But Coach Summerall's really impressed me. You go back to the 2 years he had at Troy. Both years he got to the conference title game. 2 years at Tulane. Both years he got to the conference title game. So he's 4 for 4. I asked him, I said, "You gonna make it 5 for 5?" And he's naturally, it's one game at a time, that type of thing. But I like the talent Florida has. You have question marks at quarterback, but they bring in Aaron Philo, who comes over from Georgia Tech, where the offensive coordinator Buster Faulkner's from, and he's very high on him. And they also bring in Eric Singleton, who is nearly 1,000-yard receiver at Georgia Tech under Buster Faulkner. They've got Ball back at running back, one of the best running backs in the country. They've got Vernell Brown, Dallas Wilson back at receiver. Once again, much like Auburn, question mark on the offensive line. They lose a lot off the offensive line, but the defense looks solid. The schedule's tough, a little bit tougher than Auburn even. It's a top 10 schedule.
Yeah.
But I think Summerall, very impressive with the job he's done in all 4 years he's been there. And I think he's going to have a good year at Florida.
So in the SEC, Phil, who's the big dog? Who's the one at the top of the hill that you expect to be kicking people off who are climbing that hill?
I'm going to go with Georgia this year to do it. I picked Georgia last year to win the SEC. They delivered again, and they're sort of under the radar.
Yeah.
Nobody talking about them. They don't they're not the flashy team that hits the transfer portal and brings in 20 guys and gets everybody talking about them. But in this year's magazine, I did a little article on homegrown teams. And these are teams that bring in freshmen, then they're sophomores, juniors, seniors, all on that team. You add to it through the transfer portal. This is what Alabama does. This is what Georgia does. This is what Ohio State does. But they're not transfer portal heavy teams. And they're more of a team, I think, at the end of the year. And what I like about Georgia is, first of all, the defense. You look at all three of these units. All three units rank in my top 10. They're loaded defensively. Offensively, last year the offensive line was a question mark. This year it's not. I rated my number 7 offensive line. Last year quarterback was a question mark. Who's going to, you got a young quarterback in Gunnar Stockton. I thought Stockton did great. 4th down. Fourth quarter, he is a clutch player and a dangerous runner. They've got an outstanding running back core with Frazier, Bowens, and Phillips. And the schedule's a little tougher this year. They do have to play Alabama on the road, and they also play Ole Miss on the road. But I don't know if any SEC team's going to go through the season unbeaten this year. But I've got Georgia winning the SEC.
A lot of talk about Oklahoma, I've heard. And then what about Ole Miss? Can they stay at the level that they accomplished last year?
Yeah, with Oklahoma, I think if they get John Mateer healthy all year and playing like he did at the start of last year, that's going to make their offense that much better. Defensively, they're solid. David Stone at defensive tackle is an NFL caliber nose tackle. The defense, under Brent Venables is going to be good. You look at the receivers. Satania's back. He was a dangerous receiver and kick returner. I do think Oklahoma's up there, but their schedule, they have to play Georgia on the road, Michigan on the road, Florida on the road, and they also play Texas in Dallas. So it's going to be tough to get through it. And they had a lot of close wins last year, but I think they're still up there and really a contender in the SEC. And I would put Ole Miss in the contender category as well. Getting back Trinidad Chambliss, I think was huge. Chambliss really emerged in the playoffs last year. And this is a team that was one play away from making it to the national title game. They barely lost that game against Miami of Florida. They've got Chambliss back, and they've got Kewan Lacey back, an All-American running back. So they're loaded in the backfield. The offensive line looks good. The defense is solid. They've got NFL caliber guys: Eccles, Perkins up front, Thomas and Kite in the back 7. So this is a very good Ole Miss team, and I think they're a contender as well. my top 3 teams in the SEC this year are Georgia, Texas, and Alabama. And those are the 3 I think make the playoffs. I've got Ole Miss and Oklahoma just knocking on the door.
Is there going to be an Indiana-type presence in the postseason? Is there going to be a really viable dark horse that nobody has anticipated that you've been able to pick out or not, Phil?
Well, the Indiana thing, you're talking about a program that was never good at any time. So I don't think we're going to see anything like that. But
Right.
I'll throw out a team, out of I got to say, out of the Big Ten, I think it's going to be Ohio State. I think it's going to be Oregon. I think it's going to be Indiana. Those 3 are all going to make it. But if I'm looking for a team that nobody's really talking about as a playoff contender that really has that opportunity, I'm going to go with USC this year. Keep your eyes on the Trojans for this reason.
Yeah.
You look at the quarterback, Jaden Maeva. He's going to turn himself into a first-round draft pick this year. They've got Wayman Jordan back at running back. They've got a super offensive line. All these guys are back from last year. I rated my number 5 offensive line. And USC can score points. Now, the problem has been defense.
Yeah.
Well, they bring in Gary Patterson as their defensive coordinator. And I'm always enjoyed Coach Patterson. I think he's one of the better defensive minds out there. And overall, they've really put their money this year, their NIL money, on the defensive side of the ball. So I think Coach Riley feels that it's going to be one of his best defenses he's had to go along with that offense. They get Oregon at home. They get Ohio State at home. And last year they were undefeated at home. So if they can pull those upsets, all of a sudden you're going to see USC there, a brand name, but a brand name we haven't really talked about in the national title picture for a long, long time.
No, I was just going to ask you, Phil, you talk about who's going to make the playoff, who you think's going to get there. There's been a lot of talk in the offseason about expanding the playoff even more. A lot more talk than action. I'm ready for some action. I'm tired of the talk. Where do you think we're headed? Where will we ultimately settle on the number of college football playoff teams?
I'm hoping if we increase, I hope it's 16 and not 24. I think once you're getting into the 24 level, you're talking about the fact that it turns into a battle of attrition. In the FCS, there was a 2 out of 3 year period where the 3rd place team in the Colonial Conference was playing for the national title game because they were the healthiest team. This team lost their quarterback. This team lost their running back. Look at the Notre Dame Ohio State championship game a couple years ago. Right. Notre Dame was down their top offensive lineman, their top defensive lineman. Okay. Yeah. If became a battle of attrition, who's a healthier team at the end of the year? I don't want the healthiest team to win the national title. I want the best team to win the national title. And I don't think we need to see 24 teams in the playoffs.
Phil Steele Magazine, the college football preview. Final question in closing, Phil. Who's the best player in college football this year?
Wow. We'll have to see, but I'll throw, let's throw Arch Manning out there as a guy that's going to have a big year because you look at his offensive line last year, he had 1 returning starter. This year, he's got everybody back. You look at his backfield, he's got one of the best running back cores in the country, one of the best receiving cores in the country. They added Cam Coleman to Ryan Wingo. And if you watched Arch Manning last year, he struggled early, but at the end of the year, he looked like Arch Manning was supposed to look. And now he's got that full year of starting under his belt. I think he can have a big year. But, Dante Moore was a guy that probably would have been a top 5 pick if he came out for Oregon. He should have a big year this year. There's a lot of players that are going to emerge and have those big seasons.
All right, Phil, you mentioned when we started with you, over 370 pages packed full of information. Tell our viewers, tell our listeners how they can get your college football preview magazine, your content online, and it's got a write-up about every team that's playing college football. It's awesome.
Yeah, we give you the same amount of coverage on Troy or Georgia State that we do on Alabama and Georgia. 2 full pages. It's like getting 138. They don't put out media guides anymore, guys.
Nope.
We give you 138 media guides rolled into one. You want the last 5 years records. You want any stat. It's in there. And I do talk to 133 of the 138 coaches. We go through all the positions on the team. Those are in the write-ups, and they're the most in-depth write-ups out there. Some of the magazines out there, they'll give you a paragraph on Troy. We give you the 2 full pages on them, and it's 376 pages. And it's available at Books A Million, which is right there in Alabama.
Yep.
And then, of course, Barnes & Noble. Those are my two brick and mortar places. So if you're out driving around, only at Books A Million, only at Barnes & Noble, or you can go online to philsteele.com. And when you go to philsteele.com to order, you can get the hard copy, and it'll be mailed out to you. It'll probably take 3 to 5 days to get there, but you also get the digital magazine absolutely free. And we update the digital magazine all the way through September. So Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, or philsteele.com are your 3 places to go to get it. But I guarantee you, once you get it, you're going to need to have it every single year.
No doubt. Yeah. Well, I certainly do, for sure.
Phil, I've collected your magazine, so I've gotten them from every year we started having you.
I love it. I need a picture of that, John. And John, you don't follow me on Twitter?
Oh, I got to do that.
I'm definitely
will do
John.
That. Yeah, Phil, I'm getting
lots of stuff.
I don't know a lot about social media, so I have my producer and my children do it for me, so I will get that taken care of.
I need that picture of those magazines if you got it.
Awesome. Believe me. Appreciate you, Phil.
Hey, we ought to do this more often. You better
believe
it again this summer, okay?
Yeah,
sounds
we'll
good.
Do it, my friend.
Yeah, Phil Steele's college football preview. Awesome. It helps on my work and everything. You're not going to get pictures of cheerleaders. You're not going to get pictures of, fans in the stands. It is content.
Yep.
It is all,
awesome.
All of the different things that he offers. When we come back, we offer the Phantoms Daily Talk.
Got to do it. Got to do it.
Next, with Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game, get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a 4th location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959, and have the best-looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw. Okay, Bear, I'm trying to figure out add, follow, request. This is tough. I'm sweating it out here.
You guys can follow Phil Steele, by the way. I do, and I have for years at Phil Steele 042.
Hold on. Is this on Instagram?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was it again?
Where are you? I'm telling you, people, your ears are going to bleed with this conversation right here. I've tried to get John acclimated to some of the technical stuff. It's unbelievable. All right, on Twitter, he's talking about Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
Or X.
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, let me go to X. I don't think I'm on Twitter.
Oh, I'm telling you, X and Twitter are the same thing, John.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Phil,
I'm telling you, people, if you don't click off of our program in the next 3 minutes, I want to thank you because you are hardcore lifers if you have to listen to this.
I'm in. Then I hit follow back, I guess. Oh, I'm in. Yeah, got it.
All right, at Phil Steele 042. If you wanna follow Phil, it's at Phil Steele 042. Home of Phil Steele's college football preview. He's out of Cleveland. It also gives you the website where you can order it online at philsteele.com. There you go.
Got it. Man,
yeah.
Beautiful. Following. Oh,
Now-
I'm in.
now,
I'm in.
My
I'm
buddy,
in. So
I like
proud
the
of
cut of
myself.
this guy's jib. Brett from Beauregard on the chat line says,
Yep.
if Phil has Auburn favored in 7 games, but not favored versus Mississippi State,
Ooh.
that makes 0 sense.
Ooh.
I got him favored in 6, with 2 being close. He says, I've got Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss. They're all the way, and I wouldn't favor them versus LSU now. That's kind of where I stood. When he said that, I'm thinking, wait a minute. You've got, number one, you've got Auburn favored in 7 games.
Yep.
Which is interesting to me. But
so 5 of them they're not favored in.
Yeah, and he's got a toss-up at Mississippi State on November the 14th.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, here are the ones that I right out of the bat, going from backwards to forwards. As of today, Auburn will be an underdog at Alabama, at Ole Miss, at Georgia. That's 3.
Okay.
I think they're going to be a favorite at home against Florida. It could be close, but they'll be a favorite there. I'm not sure Auburn's going to be a favorite at Tennessee.
I don't either.
Are they going to be a favorite at home at 11 o'clock against LSU?
LSU.
Maybe.
LSU preseason ranked number 11.
Only thing about that state game is it's at Mississippi State. It is hard to be a favorite on the road in the SEC. I will give you that.
They're easiest.
You would think they'd be a favorite against Mississippi State.
And the other one that we haven't addressed, the easiest game that they'll have in the league will be November 7th. They'll be a favorite in the morning or noon-ish against Arkansas. Boy, they lose that one to Arkansas. Whew, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
And John.
Yes.
Phil loves Alabama.
Okay.
Phil says Alabama. We're going to get to the Daily Dog in a moment.
Yeah.
I'm sitting over here. If I didn't wear those low-cut ankle socks right now, I'd be pulling my socks up going, because they would have tried to, what?
Okay.
Phil loves Alabama. Number 1 surprise team. Top 3 team in the SEC. Under the radar. Running game will be better. Quarterbacks will be good. They've got 2 back-end safeties that are as good as anybody in the country. I'm thinking, there's somebody who actually gives John a little cause for confidence here.
I'm sitting there listening to it going, whoa. Yeah, I mean, Phil seems a lot higher on the Crimson Tide than yours truly.
Than virtually anybody else, to be honest.
I mean, 3 playoff teams from the SEC, and Alabama's one of them. Look, Phil's the man. I'm going to tell you. Been following this guy for 25 plus years. He spends over an hour with DeBoer. DeBoer tells him about the running game, the improved offensive line play. Probably gave him a few secrets about the quarterback play and who he expects to be the man. Of course, he mentioned Ryan Williams, mentioned the defense.
Mentioned Crowell, mentioned Daniel Hill, mentioned Kevin Riley in the running game.
He said over 8.5's a lock.
He talks to the coaches. I know for a fact he's talked to Jared Parker down here in Troy. I know for a fact he's talked with Golish. I mean, he'll talk to them.
134 of the 138. Who are the 4 that don't want to talk to him?
Belichick. Maybe the coach at Toledo or something like that. A lot of this stuff, as he's talking, and he's just grading what the coaches say. Okay, this guy will be a starter at left guard. Okay, I got it. Okay, what about right defensive end? Okay, I got it. Does he need to talk to the coaches, and he's been hyper successful for over a generation? Or does he need to talk to Longshore? Look, Phil, don't call KD. Here's the deal. They ain't got an offensive line.
No.
They're running back. I tell you what. Let me give you a number. Call this guy. His name's Bob. He lives in Pike Road. Call that guy. And as a matter of fact, you can talk to Bob, and you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He'll tell you about Auburn and Alabama.
Yeah.
You know? So Phil is he's not into the hype. Oh, I'm telling you, this kid over here, he couldn't play dead in a cowboy movie. I don't know why they're starting him, but, that would be the Longshore stuff. He's talking to the coaches, and the coaches are saying, we really like our returning starting quarterback. He's a 2-year starter, 57% completion percentage last year. We think that's going to get better. He's just he's just compiling all that stuff. He needs to know about, that wide receiver who's afraid to go over the middle, who hadn't made a tough catch in his entire time at Alabama, that kind of stuff. I'm not telling Phil his business because he's comprehensive and he works his tail off.
Sure he does.
But he's compiling all that. He's looking at it. He's got grades on players. He's got grades on past performance. He's got grades on schedule and all that kind of stuff. With all that being said, John, he really likes Alabama.
That was eye-opening. And there again, when I get back from Tampa, I might feel better once we hear some preseason scoop. I don't want to hear former players of SEC schools and Alabama, for that matter, going, oh, the offensive line is great. It's unbelievable. I don't want to hear that in August like I did last year. But I'll take that into consideration. And I've said, they haven't started. I want to get through the summer. But right now, I'm just not overly confident. I still am having that problem getting over what I saw the last time Alabama was on a football field. My therapist tells me I need to get over it, move on.
He says this like, I just want to make it through the summer. I don't want to hear the hype. I don't want to hear the brouhaha. I don't want to hear any of that. I want to see them on the field. Even that isn't technically a correct statement. Because if he sees them on the field from his 72-inch big screen TV at home against East Carolina, and they blow the doors off the Pirates, that ain't going to do it for him.
It ain't going to do it.
At Kentucky the next week, that ain't going to do it. The entire month of September, John's going to be, when it comes down to October the 10th at Bryant-Denny, when the Bulldogs roll into town, that's when John is going to say, we ain't talking about, I just want to make it through the summer.
Yeah.
I just want to see them play. No, he wants to see them play against Georgia. And then he might be slightly swayed.
If they are not undefeated going into that Georgia game, big problems. We've said that before. And they'll blow East Carolina out. Everybody will be happy. And then they'll go to Lexington and win, but not cover. And then people will be kind of, what's going on here? But you're right. October 10th is going to be the real test. Here's something I just had to go back to in the first hour. Where did this come from? I mean, I thought we were over this.
This is our buddy Joe.
Ago.
No. This is in context. Joe says the only Bama coach that Mike Price outlasted was Mike Riley. Right, Longshore? Slight breach of etiquette because he spelled Riley wrong. But this is in context from an earlier chat from Bob from Pike Road, talking about how Auburn has flubbed a couple of coaching hires, and they have.
Yeah, they have. True.
And he was talking about coaching hires and . He says, I type about all things, but make no mistake. I love it when he says that. That means he means business. Auburn hired the disaster that was Hugh Freeze solely because he beat Bama and Nick Saban twice, and then he lost 3 straight to Bama. And Joe says, Bob, in hindsight, Auburn hiring Hugh Freeze was a bad decision, much like Bama hiring Mike Price. However, I will take my chances with Golish over the guy you dubbed Seattle Saban. So that's the context of it. That's the context of it.
Yeah.
Bob from Pike and Joe says, slight breach of etiquette. He brings up Mike Riley. He brings up Mike Price. Mike Price. Never.
Well, even though, and Joe, obviously you've been a long listener and viewer to the program, I at least told Mike Price to his face I did not think he should be the head football coach at Alabama. I did believe Mike Riley would be the next coach at one point in time, as did Cecil Hurt, which we've talked about with the late, great Cecil Hurt before, and Rodney Orr about the Mike Riley situation. So I don't want to go in all the particulars and technicalities on what happened there, but I still wake up in the morning and put my feet on the floor feeling good about the Mike Riley situation. It didn't play out totally as I thought it would. But
as he made the prediction, I do believe that was happening when he made the prediction. Now, after the prediction, when the wheels fell off of the whole thing, and it turned out to be all right anyway. Yeah. Bob from Pike Road says, there's a big difference between Freeze and Price. Joe brought up Mike Price. Yeah. He says Freeze had 3 losing seasons, adding to the worst era for Auburn in 54 years. Price lost exactly 0 football games for Bama. Big difference. Really, Bob? Really? You're going to bring up the Mike Price error? He actually won 0 football games. He actually didn't coach. He coached 0 football games. That was 5 or 6 months of absolute wasted time. And you're acting like, I'd rather have Mike Price than Hugh Freeze.
Look, looking back on it, it's rolling, baby. Arity's Angels, that whole deal was a blessing in disguise. Whew, if that had not happened, jeez.
So that was the context for Joe's text about the only Bama coach that Mike Price outlasted was Mike Riley. That was all the context. It was not necessarily a jab at you, although it kind of was. It was more like Bob is saying the Hugh Freeze era was a mistake, and it was even more so than Mike Price. Mike Price was a huge mistake just because he lost 0 games. He didn't make it to the start of the season.
Where's Mike Riley now? Wasn't he a coach in the UFL?
I think he is. I think he still is, like San Antonio. Or something like that.
Guy can coach, I'm telling you. Plus, he's been a guest on this very program when he was here to coach the Blue-Gray game years ago.
Yeah, John put him up to something one time. He said, hey, when Barry says this, you say that. I forget what it was.
No, he said the university. I'll never forget it.
Because John told him to. That'll get him. We were live with him down in the lobby of the Embassy Suites, and he was laughing.
I said, hey, Mike, listen, when Barry asks you about Alabama, your response should be, you mean the university?
Oh, yeah.
What did we miss here with Dennis, Barry? Did I miss something here?
He wanted us to ask Phil Steele about the biggest surprise out of the group of 5. And we didn't get to that.
I think he said Louisiana. He's got them winning the Sun Belt.
He's got them winning the Sun Belt, taking the West in the Sun Belt.
Oh, the West.
But he's got Troy having a good year. We didn't get to that. Dennis says for your fans, and for me too. Yeah, he's always looking out for our fans.
Sure he is.
Now, also this real quick.
Yep.
From Daniel, he said Harsin was the worst ever decision, and he's been forgotten. Apparently, Harsin was killing the program. Freeze was actually a major upgrade from Harsin for recruiting accomplishments only. Harsin, I agree with you, Dan. Harsin, you want to get Jason Caldwell animated or Brian Matthews or any of those guys, J.G. Tate or Justin Ferguson, those guys, ask him about Harsin. Because it's like that guy didn't even try.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so here we go. Phantom's Daily Dog, real quick, before we go.
Here we go, Barry, with the Daily Dog for last night on Monday. Barry, I didn't want. It wasn't part of my game. It wasn't my game last night. I did not know we had a double header, which you rarely see in Major League Baseball. I know it was a makeup game, but the Brewers and the Cardinals had a double header yesterday, and the Brewers won both games. Ooh, ouch.
Brewers are pretty
in St.
good.
Louis.
Yeah. Brewers
not as bad as the game we had, Barry. Whew. And Chicago hosting Boston. I couldn't figure out why the home team was an underdog. Now I know why. Because Boston put up 3 in the top of the third, 1 in the top of the fourth, 4 in the top of the ninth.
Why did you have Chicago? Come on, man. You know, the Red Sox aren't playing much better. Much better. They've started to catch fire. Anyway, it was an 8-1 game. Red Sox over the White Sox, 8-1.
8-1. So, Barry, we're going to go to a game today.
Yes.
At 5:40.
Why 5:40? I don't know.
Because that's what
there
time
are
it starts.
3 games at 5:40.
These two teams are the furthest apart of any two teams in Major League Baseball. Where the Seattle Mariners have traveled all the way down to South Florida to take on the Miami Marlins.
Marlins are playing really well lately.
Yes, they are. They won in 10 innings last night, 6-5. Pretty good win for the Marlins last night.
I'd say so.
Maybe a walk-off homer, I want to say, was the difference. Yeah, one, I want to say it was a homer in the bottom of the 10th that did it for the Marlins last night. So we are going to tonight's game in Miami.
Yes.
5:40, Major League Baseball, where George Kirby of the Mariners goes up against Tyler Phillips. They seem to like Seattle. They're minus 131, but we're catching Miami at home after the big win last night at plus 110. So we think the momentum carries into tonight's game, as well as Seattle having a hard time adjusting to the jet lag. Still, that's a long trip.
Cannot be
play
any
a baseball
farther.
game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Long trip. Now, this is, if I'm not mistaken here, just to give you a little history here, Seattle is leading the American League East by half a game.
The West, yeah.
West, excuse me, by half a game. Half a game. They won 6 of their last 10, lost last night, but they're only leading by half over the Rangers. Miami, on the other hand,
they're coming off a terrific road, a terrific stand. They were 5-1 on their homestand so far.
They won their last 4, won 7 of their last 10. They're only 3 games out of first place. Hello, Atlanta Braves. Somebody's chasing you.
Yeah.
This is the same organization, ladies and gentlemen, that's won just as many World Series titles as the Atlanta Braves.
All right.
Just saying.
That's the history.
I've never been to Marlins Stadium, but I've flown over it. When you take off from Miami, you fly right over it. It's a beautiful spot.
I've driven by it a couple of times. It's nice. It's beautiful. It's right in the middle of town, awesome. And nobody still goes.
Yeah.
Let's
take what effect the crowd or lack thereof will have on tonight's game, Barry. Don't really care about it. Sometimes I do get caught up on the number of people at a game. Miami, you just got to know going in. Probably not going to be a lot of folks, but what the heck? They're used to it. Yes. We're taking the Marlins plus 110 against Seattle at 5:40. You can catch that on Major League Baseball Network if you have it, which I don't. But I will check the score bright and early tomorrow morning, Barry, to see how it played out.
It's our Phantom's Daily Dog. And when we come back, the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
This summer, Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is on a Jurassic hunt for the oldest HVAC systems and water heaters in town. If your system is a fossil, now's your chance. Replace it between June 1st and July 31st, and you could win big. We're giving $2,500 back for the oldest HVAC systems and $1,000 back for the oldest water heater. Even if you don't win, you still score major savings on your new HVAC system, water heater, generator, and/or garage door. Don't let your systems go extinct. Call Dixie, and it's done.
Big news for Central Alabama travelers. Getting to Texas just got easier. You can now fly nonstop from Montgomery to Houston with United Airlines. No long drives, no layovers, just smooth direct travel from your hometown airport. Whether it's business or a weekend getaway, Houston is now just one flight away. Spend more time there and less time getting there. Fly nonstop to Houston. Fly MGM, where travel feels easy. Book your trip today at flymgm.com.
Drive away in a Toyota Crown Platinum or win your share of $25,000 in free play during Victoryland Casino's Crown and $25K free play giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit our Players Club and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings July 10th and 11th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Okay, here we are back at it, about 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Glad you're with us. I see the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. It is ready to go. Barry, this weekend at Victoryland, you could win that fabulous Toyota vehicle or $25K in free play at Victoryland, exit 22 off I-85, Shorter, Alabama. You can be a winner at Victoryland, up at 24/7, 365.
Don't have any idea what any of these are. We are totally out to lunch on any of this, whether it's Ticked Off or Injustice or Billy's First Bath.
Billy's First Bath.
We're just going to take them as they come, curated and researched by Gurn Jr., our producer. And let's get going. Best available.
Yeah.
Oh, the 2026 NBA free agent still available. Why we got to look at Jalen Duren, he's a restricted free agent, which carries some of its own things. LeBron James is the number 2 available free agent. Listen, I think he said that that now they're down to 3.
Yep.
Golden State, I still think is going to get it. James Harden, he's getting old. He doesn't play defense, and all he looks to do is shoot. That's all he's. He's terrible without the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
But he can shoot it. Peyton Watson, don't know him. Peyton Watson. I like Rui Hachimura. I've always liked him ever since he was at Gonzaga.
Yep.
But he had a good, solid year, 18 points a game. Draymond Green, his best days are behind him, and he can be divisive on the in a locker room. He just got to have all the attention. Benedict Mathurin, I like him as well. I would move him up that list out of Arizona. Jonathan Kuminga. Gosh, what's wrong with the Hawks? I don't know why they don't keep him, because I love that guy. Bruce Brown, not to be confused with Byram Brown, who throws funny. He's a role player. And Jordan Clarkson. It's not great. The big names there obviously are LeBron and Draymond Green and James Harden. I think there's more value in a guy like Hachimura or Jonathan Kuminga myself. That's a good one, though. Nicely curated.
Nice good to start out on. I like that.
Appreciate that. There you go.
5 more to go. Yellow, green, purple, blue, and red are left on the wheel. Let's see where it lands here.
I want to see about Billy's First Bath. Hope it's not Billie Jean King.
Got to be
I
an
don't want to see
animal.
that.
It's got to be an animal.
I hope so.
Cool record.
Cool record. Tyler Tolbert. The Major League mark, I think, was set by a guy named Walt Dropo back in 1950. Tyler Tolbert, not to be confused with, who's the guy that was the assistant coach? Oh, Tyke Tolbert, the assistant football coach at Auburn. Tyler Tolbert, 12 for his last 12. That ties a record. That was a weird game, by the way. Hey, look at me, Walt Dropo. I was right.
Now, Barry, that was
52. Walt Dropo, ladies and gentlemen, from your boy Barry right here.
You know, Barry, that was my kind of baseball game. 28 runs scored in that game.
It was crazy. That game was nuts.
That's my kind of game.
Yeah,
I like that.
Way behind, come back and hold it. That was absolutely crazy. I think it was a Mets in the
I
World.
like that.
So there you go. Yep. All
Good
right.
stuff.
Got to step on it a little bit. Our first.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, here we go. 4 to go. Let's spin away, see what comes up. All right. I like the colors on the wheel today. Nice combination. But red and blue are going to be the last ones, I can promise you. Ticked off.
Oh, this could be anything. Bobby Cox? Oh, no.
Oh, boy. No kidding.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Phillies coaches ejected. Don Mattingly, he took over from Rob Thompson about 10 games in, the Phillies have been playing terrific ever since. That's not Mattingly.
Now, wait a minute. If the ump runs into the manager, but the manager can't run into the ump, well, what's going on here?
I don't know. That's not the manager. Mattingly is over on the right here.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're yelling about. I missed that game last
I can
night.
read
These
lips.
are the two assistant coaches.
Couple of F-bombs. Gee, wow.
A player running past second base to avoid a force play, which is legal. The base runner must turn to third base and not run to left field. If the runner continues to run toward the outfield, he should be called out because he abandoned the base. Evidently, that came up in the inning, and a couple of the base coaches got tossed.
Ooh.
I don't mind. You don't ever see that. Like, if you were ever going to see a manager get tossed, it would have been for Egypt yesterday against Argentina in the World Cup because Egypt got robbed.
Oh,
managers, they yell, but they don't ever get up in the face and all that kind of stuff like they do in baseball.
Huh.
Well, baseball, people getting thrown out is kind of a thing. You don't ever see them get thrown.
Well, they got to do something to spice the game up. Gee whiz, throw the manager out.
Which football coach get thrown out of the game?
Ooh.
This is going to be, what do you got? 1 day contract.
1 day contract.
They usually do this when somebody's retiring.
Yeah.
1 day contract. Oh, yeah. Kyle Lowry. He was a very solid player for 20. I didn't realize for 20 years.
Man.
He won a championship in 2019 with Kawhi Leonard for the Raptors.
Yep.
So they signed him. He was about to retire. And he's a good player, good, solid player. And it happens a lot where you sign a 1 day deal with somebody so you can retire as a member of that team. Maybe you played for them for a while like Lowry did.
Yeah.
And you just want to retire. He wanted to retire as a Toronto Raptor.
You know, Barry, I don't
Very
understand
nice.
that. I mean, it's kind of like a hotel room. I mean, you can rent a room for a day or an hour. I mean, why not give the guy a 1 hour contract? What's it mean? Is it going to be any big difference?
Well, it means you probably got to wash the sheets afterwards.
A 1 day contract, just sign him for an hour. Be done with it.
You got to, the hotel rooms are different. Those people who want hourly rates, those aren't the people you want to
Oh, okay.
associate with. To
I
be
think there's a
honest.
one down the Troy Highway. It has hourly
One?
rates. All right, 2 to go. Blue and red are what's left on
John
the
and
wheel.
I don't know anything about
Nah,
that.
I'm just seeing.
Okay,
the
I've been
sign.
waiting for this one.
Billy's first bath.
There's got to be a goat or something. A
Okay.
rescue pig.
Oh, it's a pig.
Billy the
Getting-
rescue pig. I love it. Arthur's Acres Animals. That's Billy right there.
Yeah, that's Billy.
Billy got himself a pool.
I just
Billy
can't
ain't
imagine
leaving
a
that
pig
pool.
wants a bath.
It's hot outside.
Yeah.
Billy
Pig
says,
doesn't
"It's my
bath.
pool. I ain't leaving it. It's cool here."
It's not very deep.
No, good enough for Billy though.
Yeah.
Billy's got some sort of an overbite.
He does have a bad overbite.
It's an ugly pig now. The
Yeah.
pig behind him, the pig says, "Billy, get out of the bath, man. It's hot."
Yeah.
Billy says, "I ain't moving."
That pig's got a lot more hair on it than that one behind him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't love it. It's a Kune pig's first experience with a pool. That pig was in there for 3 hours. She's going to get all wrinkly,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
Good luck getting that pool out, that pig out of that
I
pool.
tell you, the water down at the coast is warm too. Whoa, gee whiz, it's warm. Got to look for a cold spot. All right, what's the last one?
Injustice.
Oh boy, this could be anything.
Oh, this might need to be the World Cup.
Yeah.
Egypt and
Man.
Argentina yesterday.
Man, that passed Freddie Kitchens. through in the
Oh,
back of the
yeah,
end
here
zone.
we go.
Ah.
Egypt, Argentina, everybody thought they were going to win it. They were down 2-0 going into there's only 66 minutes gone by. They were leading 2-0 over Argentina, who was heavily favored.
Yeah.
Argentina scores 3 goals in the final 20-something minutes and wins it Egypt got robbed. Hassan says his team got robbed.
Hate it for you.
Argentina, stunning late intervention by Lionel Messi, who's the best player in the world. Now, Egypt, down here, yeah, right there. Egypt was furious at having a goal disallowed following a video review and then a subsequent failure to check on an apparent foul. Egypt had scored their third goal and was going to have this thing won. But no, they got the video review and detected a foul 100 yards away, John. Even the announcer was saying video review is the bane of my existence. Is this what video review is for? To detect something 100 yards away? No, video review should be, was that ball tight roping the sidelines? Did it not go out of bounds? Was that a catch? And that's not going to be, hey, we understand that somebody back there may have tripped somebody 100 and something yards away. It's awful.
I'm getting a little suspicious about this soccer stuff. I just got to tell you.
It was bad yesterday. It was bad. It was a bad look for FIFA, that's for sure.
Yeah, don't like it.
Egypt got hosed.
Okay, man, thanks again to CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joining us today. Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine. Always enjoy Phil coming on with us and giving us some insight and knowledge about the upcoming season. Go buy his magazine, Barnes & Noble.
Books A Million.
Books A Million. You can order it at philsteele.com. Make sure you get that. Tomorrow, Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover, Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, joining us here tomorrow on the program.
For all of those guys and our producer, Gurn Jr., he's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented